Hey everybody. So, one of Mark's coworkers saw some of my crochet stuff and was wondering if I could make a Tigger. So, I've never made a Tigger before, and I'm just drawing it out, like how I want to build it, how he looks from pictures I've seen of him. And I did have all of the yarn colors that I would need, so I was like, yeah, let me give it a shot. We'll see how it goes, right? And this video is pretty long, so I won't be talking through the whole thing, just chiming in here and there when stuff is interesting. I'm pretty sure what I'm starting with here are the ears, and I want to make them double-sided, and I wanted to put the orange in the back and like the cream color in the front. Oh, actually, never mind. Save that for later because this is actually the nose. He has like a pink nose in the midst of like a little bit of orange. And yeah, just sewing on the nose. Here I'm making the beige part of the face that's going, around his little muzzle. And this is only like my second or third time using these safety eyes, so I'm not really that well acquainted with them, like the sizes I will want. I don't know. Sometimes I just think they look goofy. Like this in particular, not the best, but I feel like the size I picked was perfect for the size that I made his like little face, the front of his face. And now I'm making the ears. So I start with the inside beige, and then I worked my way around with orange to make them, double-sided and a little thicker. And here, I think I thought I was starting with the round head that I wanted to make, but I started increasing too much, and it started becoming like more of a flat bottom thing. So then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to rip all this out. I'm going to use this as the base for the body and like a wide bottom. And here I'm speeding through the legs. I want to stuff them a little bit so that the feet part is a little bit wider than the rest of the leg. And you got to make two of them, so I'm like writing down the steps as I go. But I did one foot and leg like 2 weeks before the other, so I was like they're a little asymmetrical, okay? It's very hard to stay motivated on projects when you have an infant around, and you can only really work when the little baby is sleeping and you don't have bottles to wash or laundry to do, or you know the deal if you have kids. And I just have the one, so and here I'm actually putting the black yarn to make like his patterns onto the foot, because I wanted to do this before I got too far down the leg. because you want a little bit of pattern everywhere you go. And it was too thin to do this like afterward, so doing it now. And now I'm adding some of the black pattern to his body, which is so funny because I'm like not even on screen doing this. And notice that my notebook got all dirty from a coffee cup and also something oily, like an oily salad that I was eating, like started leaking out of the package, out of the little bowl. It was like a Tupperware and it must have had like a little crack in it, and it got my entire notebook like greasy and gross. But yeah, those are the things that happen while you're working on a project long term. This took me, I don't know, months, probably like 5 months start to finish, doing everything little by little. Right now I think I'm building his tail, which I almost forgot about. I stuffed his body a little bit thinking like, oh, I didn't have to sew a tail in, but I do. So I'm making the tail. It's so off screen. Man, I really gotta learn how to look at my camera setup before I start doing all this stuff. So I'm gonna sew on the tail before I spiral it. And then I'm going to make the spiral by creating tension between the tip of the tail and the rest of the body. And that's what I'm doing right now. And now I think I'm starting with the arms. If I could see that properly on my little notebook, I'm making notes as I did with the legs. I think I did the arms a little bit more, like maybe a few days apart from each other. So I think it was a little bit more fresh in my mind. They're a little less wonky. The legs are definitely like one is so much shorter than the other. But we still did it. We still made it work, because it's not like I'm doing this for a commission. I'm just doing this for fun for Mark's coworker friend, you know? So it is what it is. But I think at this point I knew this wasn't going to be like my best work. But if you wait till the end, you'll see it did come out cute, but a little silly. Not really Tigger. Off-brand Tigger. And now that the body is done, I'm getting started on the round head, which, if you remember from the beginning of the video, I started making the round head, but I increased too many stitches and it wasn't very round. So I'm actually marking down how many I'm increasing as I go around. That way I can maintain more of a circular shape and less of like the conical shape that I built for the body. And now that most of the head is created, I'm going to sew in the ears first. And finding out the placement I want for the little face muzzle part. I remember as I was sewing this face on, my son was by my side and he was not sleeping. He was actually playing with this Grogu plushie, and he kept dropping it, but then he'd be like, what? And so I kept like leaving the sewing down so that I could give it back to him. It kept like rolling into my thigh and stuff. It was pretty adorable, you know? And he was watching me sew, which was also very cool. I like to talk him through stuff as like I'm doing it, even though he's only 5 months old right now. So when I was doing this, he was like 4 months old, but he likes having a good chat. Now I'm sewing on the eyebrows and all of the patterning on his head, trying to work in the ears as well so that it doesn't look like the ears were separate. Okay, here's the big deal. Sewing the head onto the body. And this is the finished piece. The squiggly tail, definitely my favorite part of this. But otherwise, as you can see, the arms are different lengths, different placements. The legs are, one is shorter than the other. And yeah, not exactly Tigger, but close to Tigger. I don't know. What do you think? Leave me a comment, please. And thanks for watching. Bye.